30 things you can check.
Yeah.
And so that in itself makes it inviting for someone to check 15 things that they may not have expertise in. But once we change those applications, I think it'll make it a lot easier for you all to make decisions.
Yeah, I think having one board at a time so we can be very thorough and just examine that application.
And if that's the direction you give us, that's what we'll do.
So right now, we have a planning commission, personnel board, parks and recreation, and all, if my memory serves me correct, all of these need new members. Is that correct, Madam City Clerk?
Yes, you should have a vacancy report there that identifies where you have vacancies and how they should be appointed, whether they are specific to a district appointed by that council person or whether it's at large or appointed by the mayor.
Okay, I'm gonna look like I'm missing something here.
It's this paper.
And I can add to that. For the Parks and Recreation, the commission, there are 5 members and there are 5 vacancies. So to your point, Councilmember Bowers, if that's one of the commissions that the council would like us to start to advertise with, we can start with that one. Mayor, to your question about the Planning Commission, there are currently 3 vacancies on the Planning Commission. And Madam City Clerk has also listed the specific ordinance. So for a Planning Commission, it's Ordinance 2199. It's silent on if city council members have to appoint members only from their district. So that's also some of the intense legwork and research that our Madam City Clerk and her team have done, is they've gone through for each of our 10 boards and the commissions to identify what the ordinance governing them is. So for your last question was on the personnel board. The personnel board currently has 1 vacancy, and they are governed by ordinance 2212 and also 2218. And again, it's silent on if city council has to appoint members only from their district.
And one other thing you might consider, the Parks and Recreation Commission meets on Wednesdays, I think at 11 a.m. And if you want a diverse group of individuals to participate, you might consider changing the time. Whereas the Commission on Aging meets here at 2 o'clock, and that's, I think, a good time because seniors are here in the building in most cases. And so I think maybe you should look at those times and see if those are the times that would best meet the community's opportunity to participate.
And thank you, because the Parks and Recreation is really hard when you think about a lot of the people that's on that board. It's mostly some younger people or some middle-aged person, and they maybe have a job, so it's maybe very difficult for them to make the meeting at 11 o'clock in the morning. And so we need to take a look to see what would be a better time for that meeting to take place. Now, as far as the, as you stated, for the, I think you were talking about the, Aging Commission, they are already here. And so that makes it very convenient for them and everything. But the rest of it, when we take a look at the, I know the Beautification Committee, they meet in the evening time. And then the Federal Board, Advisory Board, are we having any issues with any of those members being able to participate in the meeting?
Not that I've been notified by staff. I did check with all of the staff liaisons prior to this meeting, and we have not had issues obtaining a quorum.
Okay.
For those that are currently meeting.
What about Measure P?
Measure P, that group has not been meeting, and that's one of the ones that we can go out and work on solicitation for. The next slide would be next steps. Yes, absolutely. And as Madam City Clerk said, we can definitely work with the council to make sure that we are doing public notices for one by one each of the upcoming vacancies that we have. And if there is required to be an in-person interview, i.e. the vacancy on the Planning Commission, staff will work with the Madam City Clerk to ensure that that is correctly listed on an upcoming council meeting, because that will require a public interview.
Okay, so the Measure P, we don't have, they are not meeting at this time.
Correct, they are not.
Okay, and so we have only one appointment, one person that's, one vacancy, I'm sorry. One vacancy.
There are 5 members and there's 1 vacancy, but I checked on the agenda website and I don't show that they've met recently.
So do we have any idea if there's a problem as far as timing? Do we have an idea?
I don't believe it's a problem as far as timing. I don't want to speculate, so I can definitely reach out to the staff liaison. The staff liaison is in the controller's office, so I can definitely follow up with staff to bring back some additional information as far as if there is an issue with timing and or location.
Because we really need to have the members meeting
Absolutely.
on that Measure P committee.
Absolutely.
I have a question. So the interviews, who's going to be preparing the list of questions that we will be asking these potential board commissioners? And how are they going to be rated? Is it, I need to know something.
So one of the best practices is that our legal department works with our city clerk's department, and they come up with a list of questions, and then those are presented to the council in advance to ensure that they meet the legislative body's qualifications. And then once those questions are provided, then that's when you would provide the interviews in open session. That's one of the best practices, but we're open to feedback and any comments that you guys would like in regards to the interview questions for one of those 3 commissions that requires an open session interview.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. I noticed we have ethics training. Is that the only training that's provided to commissioners?
I will let the Madam Clerk chime in on that one.
So since I've been here, I haven't seen any training for commissioners. I know in the past that specific boards and commissions may attend conferences based on whatever the discipline is on the board that they sit. Say, for example, Personnel Commission. Employment laws change all the time, so I think it's imperative and important that you send commissioners to ongoing training if they're participating on boards and commissions. That way you get the most current information and very intelligent board members.
Right.
Yeah, I do know that there are conferences, because while serving on the Planning Commission, I did attend conferences, so that's very important. And I want to thank you, Mr. City Manager, for emphasizing the code of conduct, because it's very important that the commissioners and our committee members represent the city, so we want to make sure that we are doing what we're supposed to do in the city and outside the city. Now, I do know that 3 of the Planning Commission, their term expired June 30th of this year. So I noticed this next step, so I think we need to go ahead and get that one where we can appoint, reappoint, or whatever. So that's one I would recommend we proceed on. And then I guess we have only 1 vacancy on the Personnel Board, so maybe we can make that one next. And of course, the Parks and Rec, as they stated before, most people work. So we need to revisit that, and I guess we would have to do an ordinance change in the meeting time. So that's all for right now.
Well, once we determine what time it is, but that's why I was asking for them to really check and to find out, so we can make sure that the time that we're scheduling those meetings, they will be able to attend. It's no point in scheduling a change in the time if we don't know what would be a good time for those people that serve on that committee.
Absolutely. Staff can work with the city clerk's office to do a query out to the current commissioners, and for those who have possibly an application that is already on file with the city clerk's office, to see if there is a preferred time, and then we can bring that information back, and if need be, absolutely, Councilmember Darden, we can do an ordinance change and update the time of the meetings.
And what we should do when we advertise is advertise the times and dates of the meetings. So before anybody commits by completing an application, they already know what the expectation is.
I'm
Right.
happy to
Thank
hear
you.
that. Yeah,
Thank you.
because a lot of people don't realize what the duties and responsibilities are, so if we know that in advance, all that information available to them, that will help them decide, oh, well, maybe this isn't a good commission for me. So, great.
Well, thank you. And one other question I would like to, on the elected committee, I'm asking for an amendment on the number of members to be added to that committee,
Understood.
to 9.
Okay. Understood, Mayor. And Mayor, if it pleases the legislative body, being that this is a workshop, I would like to, it's up to council's discretion, to open up feedback and comments to members, to the public. We don't have a public comment section, but if council has provided their feedback, I'm very open to hearing feedback from members of the community if there is such.
Okay, thank you. Yes, please come to the mic. I know.
Okay. My name is Dolores Holbrook, and I have 2 questions. Number 1, do we have a commissioner handbook?
Handbook?
Other cities have commissioner handbooks. Because I tried to go to Torrance, and they wouldn't let me go because I didn't reside in Torrance.
Thank you for pointing that out to us.
Yes.
And Madam City Clerk, do we have a handbook for all of the commissioners?
Currently, we do not, but Assistant City Manager Benz and I have discussed developing a handbook so that commissioners understand what their roles are, the times that we meet, and any other pertinent information regarding the
Well,
city.
I have a copy of a commissioner handbook.
From the city of Compton?
But no, this is just a commissioner handbook.
Okay.
Yeah. And my second question is there a term limit for people to be on the commissions? I've noticed that some people are on there 10, 9, 5, 7 years on the same commission. And should there be a term limit on that commission?
Should be. That is something I would like to probably the council need to discuss in regarding that, and so that we can get back with you on that, so so we can that can be addressed.
Rodney Lister, staff had mentioned a mentioned an ordinance where it didn't specify if a person had to reside in a certain district to be on the committee. And as a resident of District 3, depending on the committee size, I definitely want somebody from my area on a committee that could accommodate that, because my concerns in my area might be different than somebody that lives in District 1 or 2 or 4. So when that ordinance is being looked at, depending on the size of the committee allowed that. Obviously, if the committee is 5 members, that's a no-brainer. If a person applies from the community that meets the requirements to be on that committee, sometimes that might happen, sometimes it might not happen, but I think it's worthwhile to consider that on certain committees of a certain size, each council person gets at least 1, and then the extras can be members at large. Thank you.
Well, let me thank you for that statement, because we did run into an issue at one time, and it was a question because we had one area where there was about 3 people in that same area that served on a commission together. And so that is something I do believe that we need to take a look at, especially on some of these commissions, that's on our commissions, certain ones. Like he said, is that every district is different. And so, therefore, if you have someone different people on there from different district, and we know that we have to appoint someone out of that district. I think that actually give us an opportunity to make sure that we're hearing the voice from the whole city as opposed to just a group, 2 or 3 people. And so that's something that I believe that we need to take a look at as well.
Hi, my name is Bishop L.J. Guillory. I am the chairperson for the Public Safety Commission, and thank you very much. I just found out about this meeting, and I think that if the commissioners would have known about it, they would definitely have been here to give you some input. But thank you very much for this meeting of the minds, Madam City Clerk and Madam City Assistant Attorney. I tell you, I haven't heard this kind of good communications regarding the commissioners in quite some time. I was one of the youngest commissioners to serve in the city of Linwood. In fact, I was a deputy to the city first black mayor, and the commissioner positions was how he was able to condition young people to be involved in politics. Isidore Hall, who later became our state senator, and many of the other council people in the city of Compton took proteges such as Satra Zarita and others and taught them what they know. Many of the people sitting on the stage have worked within the city of Compton. It was because of the mentors that taught them what was going on in the city. So let me just add this, because we're not so far removed from having over 75 or 100 years of experience on that board or on this council with regards to public service. So let me say this. Most of the commissioners that serve, not just here in the city of Compton, but across this nation, they serve with a stipend. The stipend that we have here in Compton, unless you're a council person and you're getting a stipend for a commission outside of the city, is very minimal. It's not even gas money. I've been blessed to not even cash one of the checks, or maybe I did cash the first one, and haven't cashed none since the people asked me about the position. So the money is not the biggest issue. I think the training, the experience in knowing that you can move from that council and go and serve on other commissioners, on other commissions in the state. Right now, we have more than 1,000 commissions in the state of California, to which, if you look at them, our community don't serve on those commissions. We're very lucky to get Isidore Hall on one of the commissions. But I think that there are a whole lot of commissions that people can leave from this city and go and work on commissions, instead of running against each other and bumping heads and not getting supervisor seats or assembly seats or Senate seats. Madam City Mayor and Council, I think that a genuine connection to your commission. Each one of you have been to the Public Safety Commission. Some of you there have been numerous times. And because you have an interest in public safety, you continue to show that when you appear at our Public Safety Commission. Because we serve you in your job to serve the community, it is important to have representation from each district. But it's also encouraging to have people that are serving that want to serve. People that are serving and they want to make sure that their service turns out to help the city. If you serve on a commission and at the end of the year, when I do my year in review, you haven't done anything, the commission is just a meet and greet, sit around, and nothing happens. Our commission, the Public Safety Commission, has brought before this council numerous requests for your involvement in some of the public safety issues. And that has led to you all making amendments to your ordinances, which has caused us to resolve issues in crime in our city. Many of you were not aware that we had a task force with almost 37 other police departments around the state that came and descended on the city of Compton. We had the DEA, we had the FBI, we had the Alcohol and Drug Organization, We had a number of groups here, but what spawned as a situation in the city of Compton where a neighbor was gunned down in a store. The person who was gunned down lived on my mother's street. And I think that many people don't realize that when you have gun violence like that, it causes a problem for us. What I would like for you to do as your chairman of the board for public safety is to let's start sending out positive messages, because every time someone Google our city, the first thing that pops up is what is said in these public hearings and what is said in the news about our city. And with all of the activities that's getting ready to take place in the state, we don't want just random murders and police violence and 37 agencies coming to our city. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Thank you for your comments.
Madam Mayor, I'd just like to make sure that we inform the public that our subscription links are now available on the city's website. So residents can go onto the website and sign up for a number of different things. If they want information about city events, if they want information about bids and RFPs, community news, all of those kind of things. So the subscription link is up now, and this workshop was advertised, within the time that it should have been advertised. But we understand that communication may not have been our best asset in the past, but we're working very hard to ensure that our residents receive information through the subscription links as well as the new YouTube channel.
As a matter of fact, I want to say, Madam City Clerk, I really appreciate that. That's a discussion you and I had for a long time ago. And so I'm very happy to know that it's up and we are using it, utilizing it. And also, I did get a call earlier today, and there are some of our residents that cannot, they are not able to view the meeting. And so I know we have it on YouTube. Is there another way? Can they still view it on Channel 36? I believe we can.
Oh, absolutely. It still runs on Spectrum.
Okay.
This is an added thing that folks that don't have Spectrum, I didn't have Spectrum, but everybody has a smartphone.
Yes.
or an iPad, and they can go on and watch there. And then, just in closing, since being on a commission, even those that have a stipend, that's basically volunteer work, and you have to have a willingness to want to serve your community. But in a measure to show appreciation, maybe every 6 months or once a year, you should have professional development for the commissioners so they can get together and you all can come inside and greet them and let them know how much you appreciate the work that they're doing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that statement. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Commissioner, over the Safety Committee, you know those checks are only good for 60 days, so. No.
Okay. Madam City, Councilwoman Darden?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If my memory serves me correct, I believe we used to have a youth commission.
Yes, ma'am.
And so if it's no longer, well, it's not listed here, so I think we need to reestablish the youth commission. After all, they're our future leaders, so we need to train them. So let's look at doing an ordinance or whatever we need to do to get that established. Something else I was going to say, but it's gone now.
Madam Councilwoman Darden, thank you for that statement, because I think I spoke with the city manager about that earlier. I was looking for it on here because I really thought it was going to be listed. It's not like we have to start it, we just have to reestablish it again because it's already ineffective, I believe. And so that is something that we really need to really take a look at and make sure that we is putting that out to our youth, especially our high school students, and making sure that we can get enough of our high school students involved into that commission. that committee.
Mayor and City Council, staff will definitely work with the City Clerk's office to check into the Youth Commission, and if need be, absolutely check on an ordinance to reestablish that commission. It has not been disbanded or dissolved. I just want to be very clear to the listening public, but we can definitely work on reestablishing that. And for the people in the audience that made the public comment, thank you so much. I took copious notes on the request for a commission handbook. Staff will be working with the City Clerk's office. And the comments on the term limits, I can tell you that each of the commissions does have term limits, but just a point of note for, in certain cases, if a commissioner's term has termed out, in our city ordinance, it does allow them to carry on in that position until their replacement has been appointed. So there may be some times where it appears that a commissioner has stayed over their term, but it's just to ensure that the work of the commission can still take place so that items can be brought forward to the council. And lastly, as far as districts and redistricting, we can definitely look at that. Just for the listening public to keep in mind that when these ordinances were created and adopted by the city council, that was prior to, I believe, 2 or 3 cycles of redistricting. So the way that the ordinances are written and also in our city charter back then did not account for the fact that we've been through recent redistricting efforts. But we can definitely make sure as staff works with the city clerk's office that we are even listing for some of the applications. We can also list if there is a vacancy for which district, if that would also help this part of the public engagement.
You know, I know that when we are looking at the applications, I know I do myself, I'm looking at where they are, each one of the applicants are, what district they're in, and to make sure that I can possibly point someone out of another district. And because I know when they send it in, they always put on what district they're in, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And by looking at that hopefully that'll give us also a guideline, the board, a guideline when we are actually trying to make those appointments.
Mayor, you can't go by what they write on there, because there were at least 3 that put down, I think 2 of them said they were in Bowers District, and another said they were in Spicer's District, when actuality, they were in District 1.
They were in your district?
Yes.
Okay, then that's something we have to verify.
Absolutely.
Then I noted some that had a question mark, so they didn't know what district. So, and that's very important when they don't take the initiative to even research to find out. So this shows what they're going to do while serving on a commission. So that's very important.
Right.
We will continue to make that part of our verification process as far as verifying the actual district that they're annotating, and also the city clerk will be working with staff to again verify that they are Compton residents.
Thank you. There's you please come to the mic.
And Madam Mayor, may I suggest that you all determine whether or not you want to bring back the Block Club Commission, or you want it to stay with the Sheriff's Department at some point?
Okay.
Good afternoon, Shirley Gideon. One question. In this process, are you verifying the people who are currently serving in terms of qualification for the boards? Well, for example, the Planning Commission, there should be a diverse group that has background in agriculture, in architecture, and so forth, with specialties. And moving forward, that's fine, but for the people who exist now, will there be some check?
Well, this workshop was set up so we could get direction from the city council, the mayor and council. So I'm sure they heard your recommendation, and we'll be waiting for direction.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mayor and Council and members of the public. This concludes the presentation on the Commission and Boards Workshop. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, when they mentioned the Block Club Commission, which was very active in the community, and I just remember we had an oversight commission. That commission would also go and evaluate and visit with their meetings to make sure that they were adhering to all the rules and regulations. So, and if I think of any others, I'll text that to you.
We can look at that, and I think the primary duty of the Oversight Commission initially was to review the charter and make recommendations to upgrade or bring the charter into current practices.
Now, that may have been, but I do recall when I was on the Federal Grants and Advisory Board, the oversight commissioners would come to our meetings, you know, and sit and observe.
You are correct.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Yeah.
But
But-
I
but-
believe
but-
they initially
Started out
to,
as to review the charter. Well,
That's right.
We definitely need them on board.
Yeah. Now, if that's, if we're gonna bring them back, I think that's what they should, you know, take a look at. Thank you. Okay. Are there any other concerns or questions from the council? No?
Just a comment, I would like to thank our city clerk for recommending that we do a workshop. Thank you so very much.
you're welcome.
And you, please, you have to come to the podium, please, come to the mic.
Shirley Gideon, is there going to be a charter review committee? I've heard that several times, but I haven't heard that mentioned this evening.
Hello, for the good of the public, yes, we will have one. We just don't have it listed as one of the standing boards and the commissions, but for the upcoming election cycle, we will absolutely have a charter review committee, and those guidelines and as far as applications will be presented to the council in the same fashion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the question.
Madam Mayor, may I please introduce this? One of the reasons why some of the commissions were suspended was because we were in a financial situation, and the city had to make some decisions as to some of the employees that they were going to have to let go. And one of the first things that we did is we said, listen, we have some commissions that have, you know, they're not necessary by charter. So when you start thinking about just throwing a whole bunch of commissions that are not necessary, please think about the site, because I don't mind giving up my stipend, but I think that when you all start thinking about this and you start thinking about tons of committees with 9 people on them and more, and $60 is not a lot to one person, but when you start thinking about all these commissions, I don't want none of our employees having to go home on furlough because we've started up a whole bunch of commissions that are, you know, they're not needed.
And thank you, because when we started, we did, one of the things we were looking at was to find out whether or not some of these commissions was overlapping. Because if they're overlapping, that means that you're doing duplicate work, and it wasn't necessary. And that's one of the main things we were looking at was, do we have commissions that is overlapping? And so we wanted to make sure that we combine those commissions, that if there was some overlap, to combine those committees, so that we could actually cut down on the number of committees that we had. That's exactly correct. And so I'm looking at this, where we said we only have 10, and to me, I'm looking, except for
the youth commission,
Thank you.
10 is enough.
Yeah, so the youth committee is that we would like to add, but after that, well, that's a separate one. That's coming, but it's separate. Okay?
Well, thank you, council and the community, for the feedback. We took notes, and we'll definitely be coming back to you with additional changes and updates. And please be on the lookout for our publications from our city clerk's office for vacancies for upcoming vacant positions in our commissions.
Okay, thank you.